How do you become invisible to birds? Well, that's what one of my students asked me recently, and I think she was looking for some sort of magic pill or secret sauce that I could share with her that would say, tell her just go do this and it'll all work out. But honestly, it's really quite simple. However, it's one of the most challenging things for people to do because it's so simple. Because what it boils down to is the ability to quiet your mind. Sure, there are a few other tricks you can enlist once you've mastered the first one, but if you haven't mastered the first one, which is quieting your mind, then all the others don't matter because your mind's going to be so loud and so busy, it is going to push everything away. But lucky for you, that's exactly what we practice every week here at the Mindful Bird Sit. I'm Kristi from Bird Mentor, and I help people connect more deeply with the birds around them. So let's get started. Well, I have a fun one for us today. I think it's different than what I thought I was going to do. And I went out this morning, and you know how nature is with me anyway. She was like, all right, this is what you're doing. It's like, okay, I think like this one better anyway. The inspiration for this actually came from one of the master's students who wrote me an email the other day. And she said, Kristi, oh, here she is. Yes, hi, Anne's back. For the winter birding retreat that we're doing, she's like, I would really love it if Dan could teach us some like a secret of invisibility, like how to become invisible to birds. And I sort of chuckled, because number one, everything that you need to know how to do that is wrapped into the master's course. Little secrets are, dropped along, little crumbs along the way. But two, it's honestly one of the most simple but most challenging practices to become adept with is something that most people, because it's so simple, they're just like, no, that can't really be it. That can't be the thing that matters the most. But it is, and it's what we do every week. So by you showing up here every week, you are becoming more and more masterful at becoming someone who can be invisible to the birds. And what she meant by that was just basically that you're not someone that startles the birds when you go out, that you're someone that the birds can feel at home with and connected to. And of course, it's not always going to happen, but the more quiet our minds are, the more at one, I guess you could say, we are with the environment around us. And so that's exactly what we're doing here every week is practicing how to become quiet in our minds. And so today's practice was inspired a little bit by this one section in George Buhmann's new book that I was reading, but also by my experience with the grasses, the big, like beautiful sedges and stuff out the water this morning. So we'll be using all of our senses today. So wherever you want to position yourself so that you can just tune in. A sight will be part of it, sound will be part of it, but so will other senses. So just get yourself in a position to receive in all ways that you can. All right. So, and the thing I just want to say too, that this practice of doing a sense meditation that we do every week, it's not to be overlooked. Like it is one of the most important aspects of this invisibility routine. And so when you go to a sit spot or when you go out in nature, don't forget to do this part because it really is one of the most essential pieces to quieting our minds. All right, so let's get started. Take a nice deep breath in, and then when you exhale, push all the air out, let it all go. Allowing it to fill back in just naturally into your body, noticing how that feels as it enters your nose, enters your throat and your lungs, and noticing where it travels to inside of your body. So we'll come back to the breath later on. For now, just stay with it for just a moment or two. So another nice deep breath in, and then let it go. At the very end of the breath, make sure you push it all out so that it just naturally wants to rush and fill back in. And just do that without any tension. You don't have to force anything, but just kind of take yourself to the edge of your breath, both the inhale and the exhale. Good work. So now we'll begin a little bit differently because, in a sense, the sense meditation today is going to be our practice. Usually, we start with a sense meditation to dive into the practice, but the sense meditation is going to be our practice today. So we'll begin with our eyes open, finding a point off in the distance. It's just easy for your eyes to look at. You can opt for one either very far away, like Della was talking about a couple weeks ago or last week, or one that's a little bit closer. Usually when it's a little bit closer, it's a little bit easier for your eyes to adjust to, but the far one away can be a great experience as well. So allow your eyes to focus on that one point and keep your gaze on that one point, but just start to stretch your vision in all directions, almost like there's a spiral spiraling out further and further and further and further until you reach the very edges of your vision in all directions. And then see if you can go even further beyond that, but your center point is still in the same position. You can notice what you start to hear, what you start to see, and even what you start to feel when you tap into your owl eyes or this expanded, softened vision. Notice what becomes available to you. Good work. So let's begin first by finding, we'll start with the sky today. We've got a little time. So whether it's a cloud or just the blue sky, I want you to focus on just one point. So if it's a cloud, you can watch it go by as long as it's not racing across the sky. It's one that's moving kind of slowly. And if there's no clouds in the sky, then just find a point in the sky to focus on. And what I want you to do is just imagine that this is the absolute most important thing that you can do today, is give your attention and your gaze to this one point. I just want you to be with this point like you're getting to know a new friend. You're giving it all of your attention right now. And if you notice, in particular, it can be more challenging for folks who don't have any clouds in the sky because you have to really focus your attention. And if you start to get distracted by a sound or something moving by, just keep bringing yourself back to the sky and notice what there is to be grateful for or in awe about. You can just keep focusing on all the wonder that the sky is and let your mind just be present to it right now fully. Beautiful. So now we're going to shift our attention to a tree. So just pick one tree, maybe a different tree than you normally pick, and do the same practice. You're going to want to give your full attention to that tree, like nothing else matters more. Like all the answers you've been looking for can be found in your attention to this tree right now. Okay, good work. And so now we'll be shifting our attention to a bird. This one might be a little bit trickier because there may or may not be a bird in the area, or it might be fluttering by. So, for as much as you can, find the bird and give your fullest attention to it. And do your best to, even though you're giving your attention fully to this one being, the idea is also to quiet your mind so you can focus on your breath coming in and out as you're giving your attention also to the bird. And if there is no bird, you can go back to the tree. Allow yourself to really wonder about that bird. Wonder about how it's moving and how it breathes, how it flies. Just really absorbing yourself in the experience of that bird. Okay, beautiful. So we're going to gently now shift our attention to, if you have grass in your area, give your attention to the grass. If you don't have any grass, you can choose a plant of some sort, but ideally the grass. Okay, you can offer gratitude to the grass that you were just spending time with, because now we're going to go to a place that's a bit more within. And so if you're in a place where you feel safe and comfortable, you can close your eyes. And the first thing we're going to do is listen. So listening to the sounds that are around us. Again, giving them our full attention, as if there's nothing else that mattered more than the sounds that we're hearing in this moment. Good work. So you can keep your eyes closed. And we're going to now shift our attention over to the sensations on our skin. So, really letting yourself become very sensitive right now. Every sensation, whether it's warmth, the breeze, whatever it may be, a little bug crawling on you, really allow yourself to feel everything you can on your skin in this moment. Good work. So now give your attention to the scent, so the smells that are on the air, noticing them as they come into your awareness. You can take a deep breath if you want to, or just allow the scents to come, but really giving your attention to what you're smelling in this moment. And while we are in the same part of our body, now we're going to shift our attention back to our breath. So, a little bit differently, when we inhale this time, we're not focusing so much on what we're smelling as much as the breath itself. So, that exchange that we have with the world around us, that beautiful exchange, the inhale from the trees, what they give to us, and then the exhale, what we give back to the earth, and that sharing that goes all around the globe. So, give your attention now to your breath and watch also as it travels inside your own body. And you can even shift that conversation. Often we think of what we're exhaling as waste and the things that we don't want. But what if it might be the best part of ourselves? Our exhale could be the best part of ourselves that we're giving as a gift. And when we inhale, we're inhaling the best part of something else that has given us a gift. Good work, everybody. So, when you're ready, you can begin to slowly and gently open your eyes and just allow yourself to be here for a moment, taking it all in. And then take just a moment to offer a blessing or gratitude to the ones that you got to know a little bit more deeply today. All right. So, would love to hear from some folks what that was like for you this morning. So, whenever you feel ready, you can just wave your hand and I'll go ahead and call on you. Yeah, Jack or Julia, sorry, please.
I love that exchange of what we're exhaling as a gift to the growing plants that have given us oxygen. I love that. I've never heard that before. That's a real keeper.
Thank you, Julia. It just came to me. I don't know while it was happening. Thank you. Yeah, just thank the world, right? Yeah. Anyone else? I think, was it Jackie? Jacqueline, did you raise your hand? Sorry, our screens just got adjusted, so I'm not sure who. Uh, no, let me press this. That might help. I did ask to unmute. There you go.
Yeah, I had to switch from my computer to my phone because it was dying. Anyhow, wow, it is such a noisy morning here. Right now, but I was appreciating the tree I looked at is very plain, and it's an elm, and elms are not native here in Santa Fe, and they're very prolific in terms of spreading. And so we don't like them a whole lot as they displace other trees. But it turns out that they may be the only ones around here that survive an extreme drought. And so, it just reminded me of the value of everything.
Yeah, absolutely. It is interesting when we let ourselves take away the egoic stories about the world and just let ourselves be with the one that's in front of us, what will start to emerge. Mm. Thanks, Jackie, for that. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Gabrielle, did you want to share? Let me push the button. Here you go. Try that now.
Yeah, I really liked that last exchange as well. And the word that came up for me was reciprocity. And then when I kind of went back to say gratitude, I noticed how much reciprocity there was, not just the breath, but the colors and the life and the even the sky as a background for all the birds that were flying by, and it was really profound. So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. You're welcome. I was almost in tears when we was starting with the sky. I never know what's going to happen for me when I when I do this either. And there's no clouds in the sky today, so it was just the blue, And I was like, huh, I wonder what this is going to be like. And it almost brought me to tears to think that like this magnificent sky is around us every day, and I hardly ever give it any attention or appreciation or care, anything. It's just like you're there. Like it's kind of like the wall you paint, you know? How often do you ever look at the paint color after spending, how long choosing it? And I mean, maybe you do if you really fall in love with that color. But anyway, it's or like a post-it note that you put up to remind yourself of something, like, yeah, I'll remember that. And you look at it for a little while and then you just sort of forget that it's there. And I feel like I just became aware of how the sky is the background and how I ignore it so often. And I just didn't in that moment. So that was just, it was a beautiful moment to be with the sky and to let myself um, just find out like what the sky is, and let myself be with that blue too. Yeah, it was so really, it really was profound in that moment, just to that one simple spot in the sky. So yeah, that's my story. Anyone else? Yeah, Anne, please.
I opened my eyes one time and there was a butterfly flying around you. I caught it. Maybe it was a bird, but there was a little black just flashed by you while you were sitting there. Yeah,
By me. I thought you
by
meant
you.
you.
Yeah, no, it was on your screen.
Wow. I have to
Yeah,
go back and watch
so
the recording.
it came by to say thank you, I guess, for a little bit of attention, but there was something. I think it was a butterfly, just because of the way it moved. It
Yeah.
wasn't just a zoom. If it
Yeah,
was, it was a if it was a hummingbird, you would have heard it.
I
So
would have heard it. Yeah, and I didn't what was I gonna say? Um Yeah, I didn't hear a swoosh either, and there's really not, it's not an easy or wouldn't be a wise trajectory for a bird to take because there's like a house, and so it's like
no,
we're
it
sort
was
of
just
boxed in. Yeah, it was
so
probably,
I was peeking. I was peeking.
yeah, yeah. Aw, thanks for that, Anne. Anyone else want to share their experience? Okay. Well, thanks everyone for coming today. And one thing I want to say about this is that um, there's like the authentic truth of giving ourselves to something um, and allowing ourselves to really become a part of the world rather than that seeker, like I'm seeking to get something like the bird, right? I have this bird I want to get. Um, but also what happens, it is sort of a trick in a way because um, it's just like anything, if you ever felt someone's attention, or where they want a lot from you, and you'd kind of just like, you don't want to be around them because it's just sort of like this sticky kind of clinky, it's just like, ah, yeah, yeah, go away. Versus someone who maybe doesn't have all of their attention focused on you. It almost makes you more curious about them, like what's going on? What are they doing? Um, and so when you're in nature and there is a bird that you're interested in, or you just want to be a part of all of it, then by not giving all of your desire to that bird, but rather even just like pretending like you just don't care, and be like, gosh, look at that leaf. That leaf is so amazing. And like really let yourself get absorbed in the leaf. Like that's how it can happen. Because then the attention gets diverted from the bird, and the bird doesn't feel it from you anymore. But rather, and then if you truly are letting yourself get absorbed, like we did today, pardon me, just a moment. Private jet. If you're letting yourself truly get absorbed like we did today, then what happens is like you really do just become part of it all, where you lose that drive to like get the bird, and then you just become a part of it, and then you can get the bird. It's like it's just that magic thing in life, or that tricky thing in life that's always like when you want it really bad, you don't get it, but then when you finally let go of wanting it, you get it. But it's yeah, so it's really just becoming a part of it. Like you already have it. Like there's nothing to get, you know? Um, so yeah, that's one reason why I wanted us to do this practice today, because it's both. It's experiencing both of it, you know? And I did that. I'll just share a really quick story. I did this once with a friend. I was living on Camano Island in Washington State, and I was right on the water. My landlords had their main house on the water, and then my rental was like a little bit back from it. But I forget what time of year it was. I think it was cool. So I think it was the fall. No, I think it was spring. Anyway, I don't remember. But the gray whales would come by one time of year, and you'd hear, you know, like out at the water. And I could hear it from my room, you know? So like I was in my house one day and I was hanging out with my friend Paul. Um, and no, none of you. Anyway, anyway, I won't get into that. But so I was there and I was like, all of a sudden I could hear I was like, Paul, they're here. And so we run to the edge of the cliff, because it was like a 50-foot cliff, and we could see them down there. And we're like, let's go for it. So I think I must have been I think I was like late 20s or something like that at the time. And so we run down the 800 stairs to get down there, and there's like a little dinghy boat, and we jump in the boat, and we start paddling out there, and all of a sudden we're like, what are we doing? Like it's this giant being, and we're in like a little dinghy, you know? And then we were like, oh no, like we're kind of like paddling toward it and realizing that like, are we going to scare it away? And I remembered this teaching about not like focusing our attention. And so I was like, we got to look away. We have to like look at the water, look at the ripples. Then we really did start to kind of like enjoy the beauty of the ripples. You could hear them near us. And then all of a sudden I look up and I see Paul's eyes, because he was the one paddling, and I see his eyes, and they were just huge because the whale was like really, really, really close to us. And yeah, so we were able to get very close to this. At least I remember it was at least one. There might have been two, but we were very, very, very close to a gray whale by doing this practice as well, and letting ourselves get absorbed in the water and the ripples rather than the whale itself. And who knows, maybe the whale would have stayed and wouldn't have cared about us even if we were all focused on it. But I think it helped. It did feel like something shifted when we started doing that, you know? So anyway, I hope you all have a really beautiful week. Thank you for coming and playing. I'll see you next time. All right. Bye.
I guess I was thrilled this week to see my first marsh wren. Yeah, and it was in the marsh, which was not surprising. But I heard it first, and I knew it was a wren. So and then I considered there's only 4 wrens that it could be, and the house wren, the marsh wren, the Bewick's, and one other. Anyway, there were only 4 that
Winter? You guys
would
get
be
winter
in that
wrens?
area. Pardon me?
Do you get winter wrens there?
No,
No, not winter wrens. Okay.
no, no. So the marsh wren was the most common. I noticed that for that hot spot.
Okay.
And so I heard it. I thought, that doesn't sound like a Bewick's. That sounds like something else. And got a photo of it. Not a great photo, but So anyway, that was my bird of the week.
Good job. Good job taking going through the steps to figure it out also, Yeah, well done. I'm proud of you. Yeah, good job, Del.
Yeah. And of course, shape, because you see that little check mark shape, and yeah.
High five to you. Nice job.
The system works.
It actually works, right? Good. All right. Well, hey, Gabrielle, good to see you. Yeah, Linda, did you have something? And then
just real quickly, I used the system this week also for a hawk that I found in my backyard sitting right above my bird feeders, which was luckily were all empty at the time. But anyway, I used it, and it turned out to be a female Cooper's hawk. So I'll just leave it at that. I know it was very exciting. So she sat there for about a good half hour. So I got a really good look at her and through binoculars, and was
To
very
go through
exciting.
all the questions and stuff.
Yeah,
Good job. Good
yeah,
job, you.
it really helps.
All right, good work, good work. All right, looks like Cindy's coming in right now too, and Gabrielle's here. We lost Anne for a second, but maybe she'll jump back in. Let me just wait until Cindy pops in, and then we'll start. Okay. Let's see here. Yeah, it looks like she's still trying to join.